As we look down the variety strips here, you can see, as we saw last time, that the tram line in the middle has had no growth regulator or fungicide. You can clearly see height differences between the left and the right, which did receive growth regulator but no fungicide. And then to the right we have plots which received both growth regulator and fungicide. Disease levels have started to build very nicely here at this site, with yellow rust, brown rust and indeed septoria now coming in and creeping up the plants quite a lot. So we'll just have a quick look at a few varieties by way of example. So just stopping first by the Crusoe, as you might expect here, we have seen quite a bit of brown rust now coming in. If we look down here on the leaves, you can see quite clearly a lot of brown rust right up to the flag leaf, and looking in the crop there's a bit of septoria there as well, despite its reasonable rating, but brown rust is the dominant disease. If we move over to the other side, we will see the side which has had a full fungicide program looking much greener and cleaner. These plots had a Latus era on the flag leaf with a multi-site, and you can clearly see much less disease within the canopy. Next variety here, just by contrast, is X-Days, which as you can see is a very tall variety even with growth regulator, but it's got a high disease resistance. And if we look in here, there is disease. You can see odd bits of septoria, but it is relatively clean even further down the plant. Again, if we walk over to the other side and have a look at the fungicide treated, there is less disease and indeed more green leaf right the way down to leaf 4, so we would expect a yield response from that. Next variety here is Illicit, which the main issue here would be septoria rating, and if you start to look in the plot, indeed you can see septoria has built quite a lot since the last time we visited a couple of weeks ago. A lot of septoria here, both down the bottom and indeed further up the plant. This is leaf 2 here, and we can even see lesions up to the flag leaf, just starting on the flag leaf, despite the relatively low rainfall that we've had this year. There has been enough rain to splash disease up the plant. And then if we go and look at the treated side, you can see much less disease. We've got a bit of tipping there, well, that's a variety physiology issue, but much less septoria right the way down the plant. The final example I just want to look at by way of contrast is this one, KWS Kinetic. The main issue we've had here is yellow rust. It's been the worst variety on this site for yellow rust, and indeed you can see lots of dead tissue right the way down the canopy in the untreated, caused by yellow rust. You can see even on the flag leaf there's been a lot of rust. The very high temperatures we've had recently have actually dried that up. Yellow rust doesn't like temperatures much above 20-25 degrees, and we've had well in excess of that. But again, if we go over to the treated side, you will be able to see that we've managed to control that yellow rust very well with the fungicide program, with green leaf right the way down the canopy. So the fungicide programs have delivered very well here, and we would expect that to show a good yield response. So here I'm looking at the commercial crop of KWS Karen, drilled around the 24th of October. And here we have a replicated fungicide trial looking at various fungicide inputs from untreated through to fairly robust programs. So we'll have a quick look in here to see what we're seeing. So firstly, the untreated. So this has had no fungicide on Karen, and again you'll see lots of disease right the way up and down the plant, right the way up to the flag leaf, mixture of septoria you can see here, and also some yellow rust in here as well. Adjacent to that is a very robust 4-spray fungicide program, and you can see this has kept a lot of green leaf, done a very good job of keeping disease out right the way down the plant. But actually more interesting is to go and look at where we've cut back with some of the programs to reduce the input. So we'll just pop down to this treatment here. This treatment did not receive an early T0 fungicide and only a low level of T1 fungicide, followed by a flagleaf SDHI combination. And you can see we've got less green leaf here lower down, and indeed more disease further up the canopy. So whilst there are opportunities to cut back, we have to be careful where we do it. Finally, just a quick look at a program which is a very low input fungicide. In fact, we've only had multi-site fungicide on this plot, and again you can see whilst it's not done a bad job, there is much more disease both in the lower and indeed upper canopy. The septoria has in fact got through here, and over the next 10 days we would expect this plot to break down even further. So we'll keep an eye on this. We'll have another update at the end of the season, probably in about 10 days time, when hopefully there'll be even bigger differences to see.